Hi there and welcome to the channel. I'm Slate and today I'm here with a guide to help you hit that 40,000 in the brand new mini boss of the Witch's Call event, which is for the limited edition Dahlia. Anyway, this is the comp. I'm not using any legendary lords and I try to use as few legendary as possible. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, starting off with the placements, we are going to start with Valkyra facing up, followed by Vortex, who's in Invigoration, to put it onto Valkyra. Then we're going to move over to Arrogance and then place Hollow to put Invigoration onto Arrogance. And Abomination is going to go in the centre with Wrath in Invigoration to place that on Abomination. Next we're going to place Karmet next to Hollow, and then we are going to put Aeon, who is going to put Invigoration on Karmet. And finally we are going to put Aeona in that top corner and Greed next to Vortex. And yeah, those are going to be the placements. You can pretty much auto cast it for the fight, and I'm going to do my best to try and talk through different options and tips and tricks whilst we do this run and also select various different cards. So one of the main things about this is that you are going to be given these card options. So here we are going to pick this middle card, which is going to inflict burning, because we are primarily using a burning comp. One thing I will say that is incredibly helpful is to select cards that are going to synchronize well together and with your team, and the best way that I have found to do this is to focus on one type of this continuous damage, so that is going to be either burn, poison or bleed. Now because we're running mainly Nightmare, we have burns coming, and here is the next set of cards, so we're going to get rid of the bleed, get rid of the poison and go for the burning. So yes, Abomination on his ult will place the burning, and because I have the exclusive artifact for Arrogance, he also places burning. So now that we're going to be stacking up the burning, that is what we're focusing on. How many times can I say burning? Anyway, in terms of different options for the ground units, you could also use a Lust, and you could use an Ardea. Basically, long range fighters are great. Now here we have a couple options. We can do the rage regen, or we are going to take this in vulnerability, because yeah, we want to stack as much damage as we possibly can. So yeah, as I said, Ardea would be absolutely fantastic, and then certain tanks like Cyrus, you could even use Reeve to do it, but basically anything that's going to have a long range that is going to help you hit the mobs as they come out is going to be one of your best options. Now in terms of moving on to the platform units, we'll get to that after this. Now here I think we're going to go for this gold card, which is the shield, because the burning is a 60% chance to deal extra damage, which could be good, but actually the survivability, because we're using more epics than not, we need a little bit of that survivability. And also Valkyra gets extra boosted damage when she has a shield, so it is still working in that direction. Now, as I was saying, in terms of platform units, we'll start with your options for healers. I would say that Eloin is probably one of the best in slot for this because of her rage. Now if you were to put her in Vortex position, she'll be able to cover. Now here we're definitely going for this gold card to reduce the attack interval, because more hits equals more damage. So yeah, as I was saying, you could put Eloin in this Vortex position, no problem, and her combined with Hollow will give you an absolute ton of rage regen to help you keep your ultimates going throughout the entire fight. Now in terms of other platform units, I would say that Greed is pretty much an MVP for this fight, and I will explain after this set of cards. Now we have the shield, so we're going to increase attack by 90% while shielded. That is a lovely little damage boost. So yeah, why is Greed MVP for this fight? Well, it's because of his slows. If you can slow down the enemies reaching your fighters, you can do a lot more damage, and they have a much higher chance of staying alive, which means you don't have to necessarily bring defenders to this fight. Now Aeona also has some slows with her ultimate, and hang on a second, now we are going to use this burning one to inflict magic vulnerability, which is lovely. So yeah, anyway, Aeona on her ultimate, she does AoE damage, and does a slow, so that's great, but she's died, so we're now going to drop in Aeon, who has a little bit of a vulnerability debuff on hers, as well as this sort of like pull-in mechanics, so that's great. Now we're coming to the near end of the fight, and we are very comfortably going to hit that 40,000. One of the markers that I've seen to help, anyway, burning, definitely going to click that again here in this middle tile. But yes, as I was saying, the marker that I found to help you know whether you are on track to hit the 40,000 is around the 2-minute mark. If you're hitting 20,000 by the 2-minute mark, you should be on track to hit the 40,000 by the time it's the end of the fight. Now these last few waves are quite difficult, so don't worry if you die, but hopefully you will survive to this point and you will have made the 40 plus K. So yeah, this team hit 45K. I will just show you the damage stats. As you can see, Karma is coming in with the most damage, but Arrogance, Iona and Valkyra are all doing very decent work. Greed is also there, and Abomination's damage will vary depending on how many burns he gets out. Yeah, let's have a look at the gearing, because obviously gearing does make a difference. So Valkyra is in an Infernal Raw set, prioritising attack and a realm tier to help her increase that damage the further away that she is. Arrogance is in his exclusive, which allows him to inflict burning, and he is also in an Infernal Raw set. Then moving on to Abomination, again another Infernal Raw set, and he is in Wailing Skull. Now if you didn't have the Eye of Mockery, you could put the Wailing Skull on Arrogance and put Abomination in a Lunacy Visor if you were needing a little bit of survivability, because Abomination is quite tanky. Now Karma is in a Tier of Twilight, which is best in slot for him, and then he is in a Soulbound Arcana set. Now scrolling down, let's have a look. Going to move on to Iona, who is also in a Soulbound Arcana set, and she is in a second Tier of Twilight. Then there is Wrath, who is just in Invigoration. He doesn't need anything, it's just to place that onto Abomination. Hollow is also in Invigoration, but she has got more attack than you would see in a Guild Boss set, because we do need some bigger heals. She's in a Golden Scarab. Then moving on to Vortex, who is in an Elysian Epitaph to increase his single target healing. His gear is also a HP based Invigoration set. And finally we are going to move on to Aeon. You could also use Abizu. They again are just here for the Lord bonus and to place Invigoration. And finally, I forgot about Greed, who is in Soulbond but focusing more on his rage and his speed rather than his attack. So yeah, that about sums things up. If you can get to the 40,000, it means that you get the most points. As you can see from the leaderboards, most people are running some form of esotericist and cultist combination, though there are comps that are using Pelagios and some Nightmare, but essentially, yeah, just trying to get as many debuffs onto the boss and the minions as possible to do all of that damage. One final thing to note is that there is quite an element of RNG with this run, and that is because of these cards that you can get selected, and they seem to be quite random, so you may need to do your run again if you're getting close to 40 but not quite there. Now once you have got all your nice rewards, you can spend them, these like tokens, in this redeem shop. Definitely pick up the shards and the rare crystal, and if you're going for Dahlia, I would recommend picking up this mythic artifact because it is her exclusive. And then it's the fun things like the chat bubble, the avatar, etc. I would also say if you are early on in the game or mid game, then you may want to pick up Esme. She's a really great single target marksman with a poison ability, and more content's coming out where these types of debuffs are very handy, so do pick her up if you need to. Anyway, that about wraps things up. Do let me know in the comments below how you got on. I do hope this has helped, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video, so until then, take care and bye for now.